I'm a cancer survivor, so yeah.
Well, I've done, I did the cancer route as Shihan just indicated. While I was preparing for the showdown test, I was going through radiation therapy. Right now, I have meniscal tears in 3 parts and cartilage damage below and above the knee. As I indicated, I have 2 herniated discs in my lower back, L4 and L5. I've had subdural hematomas. I've had all kinds of things, And the only thing that really prohibits us from accomplishing and doing is the mind first.
Yes.
If you believe that you can't, then you can't.
Mind you that none of these are related to the martial arts. They're outside of the martial things that have happened outside of the martial arts. But the martial arts has been a tool, a great vehicle for her to overcome these adversities.
Which is a great thing for our viewers to acknowledge. Have you been active in competition, in the competitive?
Yes, I have.
The competitive tournaments and stuff like this?
Yes, I have actually. I used to be a New York State champion in kickboxing for quite a few years, and I retired out of that. I went into the national competition, so I was the U.S. champion for maybe a couple of years.
You compete in what events like comité?
Kickboxing.
Just
kickboxing.
Just kickboxing.
Right. The grappling arena was not popular yet. It was mainly kickboxing.
Are you on the tournament Are you on the tournament circuit with weapons or katas?
No, not anymore. Not anymore. I used to be maybe 25.
What about your
years
students?
ago. Some of them are, but most of them are not. Okay. What we do is, as you know, the art of we can say ninjutsu or we can say ninpotadutsu. The art of the ninja is a non-competitive art. In fact, the art is not an art at all. It's not a martial art. What we do is not a martial art. Some people, it's easy for them to relate as martial arts, but what we do is we're learning the way of warfare, period. But we balance these things with meditation, with other things that we do, of course, or parts of other elements of the ninja arts, so that we can acquire a higher level of consciousness or develop ourselves.
Right. Which is really, really good because as most people know, watch our show, Shihan Felix Vasquez has been very active in competitive martial arts. He brought it to the surface, and he was the leader in this particular field. Many of the people who practiced with him followed in his footsteps to some degree, but a lot of them did not. A lot of them could not, and so therefore, we still give him the praise for this attribute of being a leader in the martial arts. Competitive field.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that you also studied with him. I as well, Shihan Vasquez.
I remember you.
And I'm still with him. So
I remember you maybe 30 years ago, I think.
Yes,
you came to the dojo and I was there. But credit of course it should be given to everybody. But I did made a personal choice. I came to a level that of the martial arts that I could create my own system. I could create many things, and I didn't want it to be one more person who created a system. I wanted to dabble more, go in depth into the arts of ninja and experience. And of course, then you have the art of the samurai, a totally different agenda. But it was very intriguing for me. It was very exhilarating, and it has been a great experience. This is one of the best decisions that I have made in my life. Study these arts, because it had, not because of me liking it or because of the way I feel about it, it's more because it has helped me overcome situations and conditions that other people may perish. And I thank the martial arts for those things, and I thank my old teachers for that. I thank the Felix Vasquez, who I have respect for as a great technician, as a great martial artist that way. Except that it came a point that you could not offer me anymore.
I understand.
The same thing for Tanemura Sensei. How do you know this? This is secret technique. Most people, I know many other things.
Right.
But the thing is, the teacher must understand that when the student has a thirst, it must be quenched. It must be.
I agree with you. I basically, whenever students get up to the level of black belt, I usually try to throw them out of the school. Go outside, go get some more knowledge somewhere else. I could only teach you but so much.
Well, that's why we have a responsibility to continue our education, to continue what we do, to continue to evolve. Right now, what I teach I learned through the Kenbukan and on all the sources for the martial arts instructors. Actually, I can get it. I learned an array of weapons, all the Japanese weapons, most of the Japanese weapons, and also all the Okinawan weapons. But I learned 30 ryuhas, meaning martial arts tradition. I know them more samurai, and 21 of them are ninja arts. Mm-hmm. So what I did in the last, I would say 10 to 8 years, I've been focusing all of my studies and I've been doing my research and my concentration on only 2 schools of ninja. So I combined what is called the Kokushin Ryu and the Gyoku Ryu, which is the oldest school. We're talking about the 1100 and 1300, those years. And I focus my studies on those, and my ninja discipline is strictly these, because I found these to be of most value throughout history, very powerful. The same thing for the samurai. I only focus, instead of 9, I put everything aside and I focus on what is called the Takai Yoshin Ryu, Jutai Jutsu. It's a form of jiu-jitsu, but it's like Japanese grappling. Mm-hmm. It's the old school. We're talking about the 1600s now. Wow. Very effective samurai school. So I just wanted to give people as pure martial arts as possible. That's why I did the research and then the other things. And to advance myself, I'm taking one of these. I believe it's going to be Takai Yoshin Ryu Jutai Jutsu, which I call Takai Yoshin Ryu Samurai Jutai Jutsu, because it's strictly a samurai school, not a ninja school like some other instructors teach it. And I made all the research. I did everything that I needed to do. I looked through my notes, and I did a great deal of history research. And there have been a lot of fallacies that have been passed on by major organizations, the leading organization of ninja arts. Mm-hmm. And so I took most of it, if not all of it, out. So I'm very happy for that, because now I can use that as my thesis for my professorship through a legal university. Mm-hmm. So those are things that we have the responsibility of doing, advance our studies, advance our knowledge, so that we can give the students more and more.
I agree with you 100%. A lot of times, actually, we've come across so many different people with titles. Whatever the title is, we can go through 100 different titles and stuff. Yes. We see them teaching or representing the martial arts, but they don't know enough about the martial arts. See, they're good fighters. Yes. They were good students, and we praise them for that. But what happened was that they neglected to educate these people. So now these people, it's good that they're good practitioners, but they're not practitioners in order to teach. They're not good enough to teach. They weren't educated in the martial art world to be able to teach anything. So you have so many people are opening up schools. Once they get their black belt, they open up a school. First degree black belt, open up a school. They don't know. Half the people I speak to, I ask them, what does your belt mean? They don't know what it means. If you ask the student doesn't know what it means. I mean, we come across so many people teaching martial arts that really should not be teaching martial arts. You can, it's like kind of like being like a mechanic. You have those people who fool around with the car. Yes. They know how to make it. They know how to drive it. Mm-hmm. But something really seriously goes wrong with the car. They don't know how to fix it. You see, and therefore they're not. They got to go to a mechanic, a real mechanic. Yes. You see, so that's the same thing in the martial art world. We see guys that are very good competitively. They punch and kick very good. They can kick some butt, let's say. But when it comes to teaching the actual history and everything in the martial art, and you have to know everything, know where the gi comes, the pants, and everything, so that you could be more effective to the students. And that's why students will come to you for that reason, because you have the knowledge that's appropriate. And I see so many people in the martial art world. It's disgusting. It's just plain disgusting. We've had a lot of good people on the show, and then we've had some people that once they got on and they opened up their mouth, it's like the saying goes in the Bible. It's better for people to think that you're stupid than for you to open up your mouth and confirm it. Mm. So, and this is what happens. Yes. So what I try to do is, my show is different from many other shows in that we're documenting the history of New York martial arts all over New York.